Okay. All right. Well, let's have a little bit of a play. If you guys do have questions, please jump off mute and ask them as we go through. So I'll just share with you how I use Cookidoo, and if there's anything that you want to know, yeah, let me know. Raise your hand or speak up. That would be amazing. Uh, Okay. All right. So you will have noticed the Cookidoo is having a price increase to $89 a year. So if you lock in now, I'm not sure where you guys are up to with your subscriptions, but if you go in there and you lock it in for another year, then you'll get the $69. So just something to think about. As consultants, we generally get to earn those at the end of the year. But Therese, for you, you might just want to do it just in case you sort of maybe not around towards the end of the year or something happens and you don't earn it.
Sounds good, Claire.
Awesome. So I don't think it will charge you only if you've still got an active subscription. I don't think it will charge you until that point when you, so Alison, when your subscription sort of needs that next year bump. All right. Hi, Alice. Apologies for the delay in getting started. I've only just come into Cookidoo. If there's anything specific you want to learn, please do put it into the chat. All right, so when I'm feeling, I suppose I use Cookidoo all of the time. It's my primary mode of being able to make food for my family. Generally, if it's not on Cookidoo, I don't do it, which is why I don't venture into those skinny mixers ones, just for the sake of having to cook manually. I'm not a fan, and so I do rely heavily on Cookidoo. There's some things that I will use manually if I have to, if I know there's a really amazing recipe, but it won't be my main go-to. So I like to be inspired by other people. I use this one a lot, What's New on Cookidoo. Tonight, I just went through all of what's new, which is the diabetes cookbook's just been released. And so I love this one. This is my kind of food. And so I go, yep, I actually just made this one, which is why I was a little bit late because I got carried away cooking in my Thermomix. And so I would go in, look at the ingredients. I'm like, yep, I love that. It's got a whole variety of food. This is what I want to eat. And so I will then either press cook today or add to my week. I do all of my shopping on a weekend. And so I like to do my meal planning and then I'll go and do my shopping. So I would add that to my week if it's not today, and I'll just put that in when I want to have that. And then I'll add it straight away to my shopping list. Okay. If I find the dish, so I actually bookmarked one. I think I might have bookmarked this one because I can't make too many dishes in a week that are new to my kids with too many healthy ingredients because they just don't eat them. They get sick and tired of it. So I sort of have to try the new recipes, one or two a week and then go to the ones I know they're going to eat. So I bookmarked this one. I added it to my bookmarks. And what that means is I can remember to go back to that one later on. It's one I definitely want to try. Now, if I was making this for my whole family, 4 portions might not be enough. So I might then go in. If I can't make it more, I could make it my own. And so this is where you can start to play around with created recipes. So if I really loved this recipe, I probably wouldn't create it until I've tried it and decided I really like this. I want to make more of this one. I can actually then go and make it my own. And that is through Cookidoo 3.0. So if you still only have 2.0, you won't be able to use this functionality. Here it's kind of telling me I can't go higher than 4. I'm guessing the bowl capacity doesn't cater for that one. So if this makes enough for me, big enough that it won't go higher into the bowl, then I'm probably satisfied that it's going to be enough portion size for my family. So I probably won't do that one, but I can definitely find one that we can use. So if I just go back to that. So here we are. I've gone through the new recipes. I'm like, yep, want to try, bookmark this one, and so on, so on. I actually just made that one too. Then I might go into my recipes. So if I like I said, so here's my bookmarks. Oh, that was the one I bookmarked, black bean chili with guacamole. Um, I might go, yep, this week I'm going to try this one I haven't tried before, add that in. Once I've tried it, if I really like it, I'll add it into one of my created collections. So you can create a collection here. You can do it on the app, but I just find it easier to do it on my desktop when I can, when I've got the time and I'm on my laptop. So I usually save, ignoring all the cooking classes we've got in there, starts with my breakfast loves, my favorite sides, breads, dinners, basics, gluten-free, snacks, savory, snacks, sweet. So that's sort of my categories. And dinners is a really important one. I find that's where I lack the most inspiration. And so I have, these are the recipes that I've tried, I love. I know which ones my kids will eat and which ones they won't. Like fish tacos, the Noni Jenkins one is delicious and amazing, but my kids won't eat it because they, for some weird reason, they copy their dad and don't eat seafood. So, you know, it might be I might make it for myself for lunch and dinner in a couple of days. But I'll run through. I know my kids eat this one, so I might go, yep, I want to have one chicken dish this week. I want to have two vegetarian. Last week I had a friend staying with me and she's vegetarian, so I actually ended up making quite a few vegetarian dishes. This vegetable bake with goat's feta is amazing. And so if I run through this and I'm like, oh yeah, we haven't had, what's the one my son loves this. It's a pork, where is it? And I can actually share this. So pork belly with spring onions. I did go to the shop and buy that. I hadn't added it to my meal plan yet. So I can add that to my week and we'll probably have that one on Wednesday. Add that in and I've already got, oh no, I don't have all the ingredients. So add to my shopping list. And so I will also rate the recipes. This is one of my all-time favorites. So I've rated that 5 stars. So you just click on the stars and rate that. It's good to rate recipes because I use that as a gauge. So this is a Skinny Mixers one. We got a few Skinny Mixers recipes in Cookidoo, and this is one of them. I always look at ratings. Now, if you don't have collections like this, these can be shared. So if I'm sharing through my phone, I can actually share this. If there's anything here that you want, I'm happy to share with you any of my collections when I email you after this. And you'll just have to access them on your phone. So you can only share collections through the app. And so I can download, put that into my email and you'll access it through your phone. Okay, so if I wanted to explore some new recipes and no one's inspired me to try something different this week, and I want to, you know, cook for a specific need, I'm going to put my filters in. Just make sure you've got the English filter here, otherwise you've probably only got Australian. If you select English, UK, and US, you'll still have some limitations on which English recipes. For some reason, there are some English ones that don't fit into those 3 countries. So we find it's easier just to put English as your filter. And you can do that if you go into your account, your profile. In your profile, you can select the accessories that you have. So that will open up more recipes for you. And then you can update your filters here. So just take on English and take off any other country or region. So that's just that one. And then if we go back again, here we are in search. So I might go, right, this week, I find it easier to search when you categorize. Let's say I want to do some sweet baking for my kids. And normally I do gluten-free cooking, but I generally just substitute because if I put gluten-free in the tags, then I find I'm limited by my options. So I can just say gluten-free just for the sake of showing you guys what you can access. I also like to search by high star ratings. So if it's only got 1 or 2, depending on whether the recipe has had, you know, if they've only had a few people rate it, then it's not a great indicator. But if, you know, 1,000 people have rated it 3 stars, generally that means there's probably been a few fails along the way. It's not just a one-off. And so that's where rating recipes is really important. Personally, I don't like to rate recipes low unless they're really bad, because I just think that's potentially my personal preference. I'll only rate it really bad if it was really hard to make it work, with all of my own knowledge on how to use the Thermomix and how I modify it. Yeah, and it was tricky, where I think a customer who's new to Thermomix might struggle, then I might rate it low. But generally, I just rate the ones that I love. Okay, so here we have 5-star, 4-star, gluten-free sweet baking, all in English. And so, you've got a little bit of variety here. How many recipes have we got? 80 results. So that's quite significant. I reckon I could find something in here that's 80 with these 80 recipes that my kids would like. So, gluten-free brownies. What else might they like? Definitely some muffins and cakes. Lemon poppy seed, I don't think they'll eat those. Keto pumpkin pie, that looks pretty amazing. So you might go, right, these keto pecan tarts, they look pretty good. They've got 4.5 stars with 4 ratings, low ratings, so they haven't been made very much. They are from, if you go all the way down, you can see where they're from. So they're from a US recipe collection, keto-friendly Thanksgiving favorites. So that must be relatively new given how few ratings there are. And yeah, you just look at it and you go, yep, I want to have that. So add that to my week. Or I might bookmark it. So if I want to try it for later, I don't want to do it this week. And then of course I go through that cycle again, bookmark it, add it to my week when I'm ready. If I like it, add it to one of my collections. So any questions so far? Does all of that make sense?
Yep, all good.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So if you have any questions around searching for recipes, please let me know. You can also search by collection. I'm not sure if you've ever tried that one. It does bring up all the international ones. So I kind of find you've got to filter by what you want. So if I put gluten-free here in as a collection search, then it brings up all of the gluten-free collections. And then I generally find it starts with some English ones, but you might just go, I mean, there's so many, and this is the thing, you've got access to so much. If I want to do some gluten-free baking, I have a look. I generally like the Australian ones. At this point, it's hard to tell if it's an Australian one. You kind of have to go into the collection and have a little look down the bottom. So this one's a UK and Ireland one. They're not very popular, are they? And they only got 5 ratings. So gluten-free plain flour, let's see what they've put in there. Quinoa, chia, arrowroot, corn flour. So usually a basic gluten-free mix will have 4 types of grain or seeds. And so that's pretty standard. Yeah, so that's, I actually quite like searching by collections. I find it brings up more for me than if I was just searching for individual recipes. Yeah, so that's a good way to get a bit more in there. The articles are great as well, but I don't always have time to read those. Okay, so you've got exploring for recipes, adding them to your collections here. Now, if I wanted to create a recipe, I can go into created. So, oh, sorry, no, that's collections. Where's my, where's my created recipes? Oh, here, sorry. Here's my creative recipes. And so these are all the ones that you can see I've been practicing this in our pizza class. These are ones that I adapted from a Pete Evans cookbook. So I really loved these savory muffins. And I modified them enough to not be copyright, but I also like to credit where I take them. like for you guys who have skinny mixers, you won't be able to directly transfer Nicolene's recipe into Cookidoo Created unless you change it by 20%. So you might swap out a few different ingredients or add different quantities. As long as it's around that 20% different, you can use the recipe. But you still might want to credit Nicolene. But yeah, so this is, you create your recipe. When you do it from a manual recipe, so there's 3 ways you can do it. This way is just completely manual. I went in and I just added all of the ingredients, added all of the steps myself. Oh no, hang on, sorry. I got this one from Recipe Community. So someone else had already done Pete Evans' paleo pumpkin muffins into Recipe Community, and then I uploaded it as a created recipe into mine. I could have modified it and changed it in ways in that step from Recipe Community to Cookidoo, and then save it, and you can add your own photos as well. So one way is from Recipe Community. I got that one from Recipe Community. That was actually shared with me from a consultant, so from Mary. You can share recipes, you can share collections. This one was scaled up. So we do family beans a lot when we do burrito bowls in my house, but one portion, which is 2 tins of black beans, is never enough for us. So I've got 3 teenagers and me and my husband. So we eat quite a lot. So the highest portion in Cookidoo, I think, was 4 portions. So I doubled it. Or is this the 3 times 1? No, I did 1.5 times. So I went up to 6 portions. I think I have another one, or sometimes I might just double it. But yeah, this one I find 1.5 portions. If I'm feeding just my family, this is enough for us. If I'm feeding extras as well, then I might do a double batch of the normal. So that's that. Yeah, so it's a little bit, it's just a step-by-step follow the process. So let's have a little look back here. I'll show you if I can use this one, I will be able to. So serving size, it's currently 2 portions. Let's say I want to make it my own. I want to make this one all of the time, but I just want to make a smaller batch. If I click on 1.25 portions, I can see here that it's modified these for me. And so when it's not an automatic scale up or down, you've kind of got to just check, does this make sense? Because if it doesn't, then you just might change it out. Like, for example, if it's something that can't be halved or quartered, then yeah, you would just fix it up. So I probably wouldn't bother with 1/3 of a teaspoon of coconut oil. I might just want to change that one. And how do I do that? I go here. Oh, sorry, save. Once I've done 1.5, I save, and then I can actually edit it here. So instead of that, I might just go 1 teaspoon. Yes, happy with that one. Happy with those, and so on, blah, blah, blah. Over here, I can also change these. So if I want to, can change the ingredients. This is my step on the Thermomix. Yep, that's good. And I can add more steps, change steps. Once I'm done there, I confirm it and it's all good. I can change the image, I can change the title, and then it will come up on my Thermomix as a guided recipe. Looks a little bit different to if you're doing a recipe that's already designed on Cookidoo, but you can still guide it through it. The other great thing is you can add notes to your recipes. So if you want to add your own tips, if you have a recipe you make all of the time and there's something that you change and you just want to make it easy for yourself, turn it into a created recipe. So yeah, it's a pretty cool way of doing Cookidoo. You can only have 100 created recipes. So I've got 19 out of my 100, and half of these ones are just through demonstrating to people how they're done. So that's that. And then we've got the shopping list function as well. So once I've got my meal plan, so here's the 2 that I added for today. I had this one in my calendar last week and I thought I'd really like to try that, but I didn't make it last week, so I kept moving it days. it's also one of those dishes that my kids probably won't eat, but I've got a lot of nettles in the garden, so I thought that would be great to use them up. Obviously, I didn't realize I'd put this one in twice, so I'm going to remove that one. I've got these Tuesday, Wednesday. My husband actually cooks on a Monday, so he can just work his own stuff out. And then next week, I'll be on the Tuesday, the 30th and 31st, I'll be in Sydney, and we're going to do some cooking with our leaders across the region. And so we're having a bit of a cooking competition, and I've chosen these two dishes for my team. So that'll be lots of fun. So what I would then do, I check my shopping list. I've already got those, whatever I have, whatever I don't have, I go in and I just tick it off. I like to tick by recipe. I just find it a little bit easier to sort of wrap my head around what it is that I'm doing. And anything I don't need, cross off. If I've, and then I will take this with me on my phone. I like to go to the shop generally to buy food from, because most of the food I just buy is fresh. But if I do a Woolies online, I'll add some ingredients to that. And I'll just choose my store. It has to be Woolworths. If you shop at Coles, you can just go and do it manually. I could swap out if I want to. So if I want to change this this yogurt, then I can, and so on, and then just add it to the cart. So that's nice and nifty. All right, any questions so far? What are we learning? What are we noticing?
Claire, would you just mind showing us how you substitute the ingredients? Because I just find that they always pick the most expensive one.
Yeah, sure. Do you mean it through
Thank
the
you.
order ingredients?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, no worries.
Just think that'd be helpful for people because it seems to be the most expensive one all the time.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
how annoying. Okay, so I just go swap, and I can, I might go, okay, I really want to get the cheapest one here. Do I need a kilo? Do I just want 500 grams? I mean, this will be my cheapest, 1 kilo at $3.30. So then I just click on that and that swaps it out. Does that make enough sense? So here, if I want to go, so there's one that I like to get. I like, what's it called? If I just write in Greek, it'll bring up so I like the Farmers Union Greek style yogurt. And I like to get the kilo of that one. So then that's the one that I would normally get. And if I want to get, so Mr. Chen's, I actually buy 5 liters of tamari in bulk from Honest to Goodness. So I rarely ever buy, but if I just want to change it to, let's go with this one. There we go. So yeah, it's not too, well here, look, they've given me 6. Oh, that's because the pork belly one that I make, use quite a lot of spring onions. And usually I'd probably just sub them out for brown onions because it's much cheaper than buying, 4 bunches of spring onions. So yeah, that's how you do those. I don't know. I think the only other thing that I haven't sort of gone through is down here. You've got just things that get updated on Cookidoo. You've got articles. If you want to learn more about scaling recipes or creating and sharing them, these can help you. These are things that people are cooking a lot in the community. And then our latest collections, I really love looking at those as well. So yeah, just there's always stuff to look at in there. And if you go along through this one, it also gives you some inspiration. So if you're feeling stuck, you don't follow enough consultants on your socials, then you can come here too. But I highly recommend, if you do social media, follow as many consultants as you can who cook the way that you like to eat. So, we love having, we all like to follow each other, and yeah, I get a lot of inspiration. Soon as someone posts a dish and I think, oh, that looks really good, I'll straight away add it to my meal planning or my collections. Yeah. And yes, Alyssa, desktop is so much easier. The app's really good for, um, like on the go, if you're at the shop and you want to check your recipes, or if I'm at my Thermomix and I want to find a recipe quickly, I'll use my phone as opposed to typing it into the Cookidoo screen on the Thermomix because it just is a little bit clunky. But yeah, I can, if my phone's not with me, then I'll just use my Thermomix. But desktop is definitely easier if you want to do meal planning, created recipes, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all I know. I mean, maybe there's some more, but it's hard to know. Any other questions from you guys? Have you all accessed the recipe community before?
Yes.
Excellent. I'll just show you quickly. The recipe community it's actually had a little bit of a facelift, and I haven't been in there since. It used to be the only platform we used for Thermomix. So we had cookbooks, spiral bound, horrible things that fell apart. But this was the site that we would always come to. And so then we got Cookidoo. Oh man. Hang on. Anyway, you can see recipe www.recipecommunity.com.au. I'll type it into the chat. Clearly, I haven't been for a while because it's making me update my password. Go into that and you can actually send those recipes to Cookidoo as oh, when it asks you for your current password, I'm like, well, how do I know what that is? Okay, let's just yeet. That's right. Yeah, so have a look at recipe community. If you want to know any more about that, definitely reach out to your consultant. I think I've seen all of your names before, either at cooking classes on Zoom or at our in-person ones. So anything else, please do reach out to us. And we'd love you to consider hosting as well if you want to learn a little bit more. Your consultant can do a Cookidoo lesson with you, whether that is, sitting down with you and doing created or meal planning and things like that, helping you set up your own collections. In a demo, once you've done that demo, they can stick around and do that with you. The other thing is we'd love you to consider becoming consultants with us. We're always looking for more people to wave that Thermomix flag. You'll learn so much about your Thermomix. And Therese comes along to lots of things to experience and explore and learn as well. So it is a great platform as a consultant to get really invested in that world of Thermomix. Thanks guys for coming on. Again, sorry for being late. I'm glad you could be here. And yeah, if there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up.